Week in Customs final episode yesterday went terribly wrong. I have no idea what was going on with my internet. I sound like if I was Irish. Hopefully, this is going to be a clear broadcast. I felt that I needed to do a better job. I couldn't end off on that terrible streaming. I'm going to be off the internet. I don't know what was going on. I contacted StreamYard, and they said that it was... what was it? What was the deal with that? The StreamYard thing that not to be on Wi-Fi. I wasn't on Wi-Fi. Hopefully, is this public? Maybe people will start jumping on here pretty. Oh, Weapon X. Okay, what's up, bro? Yesterday's stream went horribly wrong. I rewatched it, so I'm gonna give it another go. This is the last episode. The final episode of This Week in Customs, at least for now. I addressed all the, the COPPA and FTC stuff yesterday, and I've done it before, and that's not what the purpose of this is. The purpose of this is to highlight customs that I need you to help me select a fourth quarter winner, and the fourth quarter winner is going to move on to face off in the championship with the previous two. Now, guys, for those of you that are currently live right now, can you let me know how the stream looks? Is the stream clear before I move on? Because I'd hate to do it again and have it be a waste of time if it's not clear. How are you guys copying this stream? Oh, you never know. Maybe YouTube will end up backing their creators and talking some stuff through with the FTC, and everything will be fine. But who knows? All right. So if it's good, let me get this going. And like I said, I felt bad because these customizers worked hard on their product, and they ended up not getting their due in that video, and I want to make sure. So for those of you that know, have been following us for a while, Boardad Customs won the first half of the year because I didn't really do one for quarter one. We weren't doing the voting. It was developing organically. This Week in Customs was growing, and eventually we just started using customs from the hashtag alone. And Boardad's Customs actually faced off against each other. The Hulk or the Punisher Buster, and this one, the fans elected this one. My favorite one was the other one out of the two. This is a pretty cool custom, but I want to show you. This is one of the customs that's in the finals, and he does a great job in presenting his customs. He does do a lot of photoshopping, and here you can see the custom in its full, I guess, natural light. That way you know what you're voting for. It's a beautiful piece, very creative piece, and everyone absolutely loved this custom. And I will be interacting with the chat a little bit more. I don't have to pick up any of my children right now. So this is going to be longer than it was yesterday, but here's Boardad's custom that was selected. And then of course we have Mark-Eye Lab Creation. He was the winner for quarter three with his Venomized Weapon H. Mark-Eye Lab, I like to call him the Kit Bash master. He is coming up with stuff that I don't know where his brain gets it from. He's very good at sculpting as well, and he does really large projects. He's been working on these 14-inch Hulks. This one ended up winning. I mean, there were some other dino. He also had a Fat Thor that I really liked a lot. It won one of the weeks. But anyways, the fans selected this. So Boardad Customs Ghost Rider, along with Mark-Eye Lab Creations, Venomized Weapon H, they will be in the final for the fans. You, the fans, I need your help in selecting the winner. And let's take a look at a video so you can see. I wish there was another figure here for scale so you can just appreciate the monstrosity that is this custom. And man, I love it. That's a great looking figure. I never actually had that base Hulk. I wish I had it. But anyways, back in episode 47, Marvel Legends ladies ended up winning the fan vote, and they are up. Skinny Betch will be going on to the fourth quarter voting for you, the fans, to select, along with Symbiote Seekers Absolute Carnage. This was one of my favorite customs from him this year. He put out a lot of customs, and I want to take the time here for those of you that are watching, maybe watch later. Hopefully, this one's going to be a little bit better than yesterday's. Really appreciate those of you who helped out, who helped really make this show a fun show to interact with, because obviously we're featuring a lot of customizers' work from all over the world. Symbiote Seeker, he's in Australia. He's an Englishman that lives in Australia. And now we have an Englishman who lives in actually Britannia. We have Captain Snick. He ended up winning one of the weeks with his Venomized Hulk. Very good. He's one of the better sculptors. He does really, really good work. And this one was definitely one of his standout pieces. The fans really like this one. So this one's going to be up for your vote. So here's an Englishman. We have customizers from the Philippines, from Peru, obviously from the United States. We have quite a bit. We have Mexicans, Mexicanos, Mexico, Mexico, like Lord Draco. Lord Draco. Oh, what does he go by? Whatever David goes by, I can't remember right now. His name, I think is Lord Draco. Isn't it Lord Draco? What is this? All right. Brimstone's Ghost. He's one of the customizers. Now, thankfully, you guys are seeing this. Last time I messed it up really bad, and T-Man was in the chat to tell me that that I was not professional. Thanks, T-Man. Love you. Love you. And he did this amazing Mesco-styled Scarecrow. He did all those injection, the needles himself. He did all the soft goods himself. This is a very, very creative, good attention to detail. And I really enjoyed this custom. If you take a look at the face, let me get a still shot of the face so you can see the intricacies of the mask. And now I can't remember if he did all of this himself. I think he did. I don't know what what the face is underneath there. I don't think this is a face that he got from another figure. I'm not sure. Regardless, the way he's worked it together looks really, really good. This is going to be up for the fan vote. It's going to be going up against Skinny Betch, Absolute Carnage, and then the next one here. And this is the final. So there should be a total of 5, right? I've covered 5. This is going to be Kilo Echo Arts, his version of Absolute Carnage. And what I was mentioning yesterday in that stream was that I like seeing different customizers tackle the same project. And you can see the character design is similar, right? Because it's based on that comic book, The Absolute Carnage, but he's used completely different parts. Obviously, Symbiote Seeker, he did a lot of manufacturing. I think he may have used like a Warlock Bath. He's gone a completely different way. He's using the Marvel Select Carnage. He's using parts there. And he did this, he had this accessory, this little dude. I haven't finished the comic yet, so I'm not really sure who that is, but it's a really awesome looking piece. His colors blend really well. Excuse me. And then you saw the wings there. We're going to get to it in this video. And all these customizers, specifically Kilo Echo, I've seen a progression of improvement in his ability. So the more customs, obviously, that you work to put out, especially if you're seeking out help from other customizers, you're improving your craft, you're getting better at sculpting, you're getting better at kit bashing, getting better at painting, etc. This is a customizer that I would say has improved a lot from his first custom that I saw to this piece right here, which is pretty darn impressive in my opinion. So there are the 5 that I need you to help select. Let me bring myself up here. Let me talk to the peeps that are in here, and the 19 of you that are here. Please help me go to the community tab and vote for your favorite one, and that's going to be declared the quarter 4 winner, and they will be put into one final poll. I'm pretty sure I won't be releasing on YouTube. I'll probably make a short video for who I guess the final 3 will be. And I'll release that on Instagram, and then I'll cross promote it here on YouTube. So from me to you, now I have some time. I have extra time. So if we want to hang out in the chat, I got time. It's over. Let me see, 10 minutes. That's perfect viewing time. Hopefully that was good. If you guys have any questions for me, I was really, one of my intentions before this whole YouTube thing, this COPPA and FTC stuff, my intention was to start doing a stream on Wednesdays where I would just kind of interact with the people that are fans of the show, fans of This Week in Customs, fans of the other stuff that I do. And I was just going to interact. But because I really, I know I've said this already, but this is going to be the video that remains on the platform because I put the other one offline. Really wanted to spend time because oftentimes I'm making my own customs and I'm doing tutorials on them, or I'm interviewing other people, or I'm showcasing other people's work. So I haven't really had opportunities to really interact with the people here in the chat, and that's what I wanted to do on Wednesdays. But to be honest, with all this YouTube stuff, because we really don't know, it'd be great if you could almost, if they could take a look at your channel individually, which is impossible to do. You got 26 million channels on YouTube. But to have them take a look at the content and say, you know what, your content is good to go ahead and do it. You don't have to, set it made for kids. You don't have to worry about getting fined. But the problem is, like I see Dudog in the chat, we just don't know because the language is just so general. It's so broad that, the stuff that we do here, is it appealing to kids? Yeah, probably. Because we're talking about characters and toys that they would be interested in, right? But this channel and my content isn't directed at kids under the age of 13. It's mainly for people close to my age, guys, in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, some 50s that follow the channel. But hey, what are you going to do? Just the fear of getting fined. I just cannot continue making content for YouTube just for that fear. I just don't, I don't have the luxury of being fined even $100. That's just not, who wants to be fined even $100, let alone 1,000, 5,000, etc. So I'm going to interact with you. Thanks, Mr. Bascon. Thank you so much for the love that you have shown. I know that you're always in the chat, and I do appreciate you. Appreciate all the people that have supported me through the 3 years that I've been doing this. I guess this may be a last hurrah, unless like I mentioned yesterday, I get together with the other guys and we do like a top 5. Thank you so much. Frilly the Frill, what is up? All right, let me see what you guys are saying here. Michael DeBella missing the stash. Now that was an epic stash. It is the most I've ever allowed facial hair to grow on my face. My wife was not a fan, and I had it on for 4 months. So the fact that I had it on for 4 months, I was getting tired of it. I started messing around with it, but I definitely liked the look of Billy the Butcher look. If you guys have seen that or not. Yeah, Weapon X, it's not worth the risk. It really isn't. Now, some of the guys, and I talked about this already, so I'm sorry if I'm being repetitive. And so if you've heard this, I apologize. But some of the guys that are making a living on YouTube, guys like, Shartimus Prime, you have Anthony's Customs. I think Anthony's Customs making, I'm just thinking of the larger ones. Robo, I think he may have like a regular 9-to-5 job. Who else did I mention? Guys like that have larger channels, and obviously Shartimus Prime has the biggest channel. He's making an income. That's how he's supporting his family. So this has got to be rocking his world. It is. You see some of his channels or his videos. You can see how it's affecting, and it should be affecting people. What bothers me is that YouTube and Google, I guess Google's an entity, they're not supporting their creators. So other creators on the platform that are not associated with toys, that are not going to be affected necessarily by this, they should be put on notice too. That should put them on notice that Google will not back them in anything, and they're not supporting their creators. We talked about going to different platforms yesterday. I was saying it's not sustainable. I don't want to keep repeating what I said yesterday, but so I won't. I just don't think it's sustainable to go on another platform. I think it's not a good business model and this is just my opinion, obviously, and I'm not an expert. It just from living life and knowing, small businesses and stuff like that. It's not a sustainable business model to go to a different platform. YouTube is the platform. If you're going to make money, because there's so many hours, billions of hours of content that are viewed. And I don't know the statistics, but that may be daily, 4 billion. I don't know how many hours it is daily. I'm sure some of you that's in here can figure it out. But those people are being affected. The other creators, this should put all the other creators on YouTube just on notice that they should be looking for something else in the event it happens to them. And the likelihood that it can affect them in the future is very likely. And the fact that YouTube has come out with such a weak response. They put this lady, I can't remember who it is, but she came out and she put out a very weak response. Pretty much is just protecting themselves. Creators, you're out on your own. We can't offer, you have to seek out your own legal advice. It was a pretty weak response for a platform that has been made by the creators. The creators have brought the ad revenue to Google. Obviously, they're providing the platform, so they have a lot to do with it as well. A big part of it to do it as well, but the other part is the creators. You don't have creators on this, you don't have any ad revenue. So, Eric Harker, what is up, dude? I haven't talked to you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Let me put you up. What's up, player? Devin, I do appreciate that, and who knows? I haven't made a decision yet. I want to see. December 10th is kind of the last day that I think we have to fill out that one form, and I did fill out the form for the FTC. I don't have the link. Guys like Shardamus, if you go watch one of his videos, he'll have a link up to that FTC. Go check that out if you want to help out. I don't know if that's going to make much of a difference. Supposedly, the FTC is looking at that. I don't doubt that they're looking at that, but they already have a game plan they've put into place. This wasn't something overnight for them that made that decision. But I'm just in a holding pattern, waiting to see. And I've already noticed that, like within the last couple of months, that the videos aren't getting pushed in the algorithm. I don't know if it's just my content. It could be my content. It could be that people were not being as interested as they were before. Maybe it's towards the end of the year. Maybe it was getting a little bit repetitive and needed a break. If that's the case, cool. And if once, if things turn out good for YouTube and the channel that I can continue, I may choose to make it like a season of 15, 20 episodes. I don't know, because I think this is the 48th, 49th, almost 50th episode related to This Week in Customs, not including Critique My Customs and things of that nature. But if YouTube dies, I just have to see. It's really killed it for me, and it's killed it for a lot of the creators that I know that we made content. I think Dudog was in the chat. He ended up deleting all his content and then starting it over. And I think I know the reason for that, because he didn't want the FTC to even have a chance to get on any of his old videos. Because just imagine, I have over 300 videos that I've put out throughout the last 3 years. If they started finding each video a few bucks that didn't comply, so that can add up. So I can see his reasoning there. I'm not sure if that was his reasoning, but he deleted his channel, and it's kind of killed that creative desire just from the fear of what's coming. And it's a hobby. I don't need to do that. I want to enjoy the customs and the collection, etc. that I have. So that's what it is. What is up, Ed? Oh, El Enmascarado. You must be a Lucha Libre fan. What is up? What's up, Devin? Fig Life. Hey, yeah, otra vez, chico. Otra vez, because yesterday's video was the quality. Hopefully the quality, right? Is the quality still decent on this live feed? I talked to StreamYard and they told me to reboot the what's the thing? The router. Reboot the router, so I did. Yeah, we'll see if things, like I said, December 10th. I don't know if they're going to put out a statement, but it's going to have to be because the FTC is going to start enforcing stuff January 1st. That's how I've understood it. Hey, yes. Yeah, man. Yeah. Some people are like that. I think I mentioned it yesterday. Some people have boo boo phase. Anyway, I do appreciate those of you that have supported the show. It is kind of a kick in the pills. That's a good way to describe it. Wait a second, I already showed that one. Make sure I get you guys on here. My favorite. Well, I don't want to say which one because I don't want to sway the vote. But obviously, the ones that I picked, the top five, those have been my picks. So if you've been watching from the first week or whenever I started doing this, which was sometime in the second quarter, I think, the five that I started picking were my five favorite for that week. If I can go back some episodes and I could go, oh, I could have picked a different five. Some of the I mean, there's just been so many standouts this year. Yeah, so I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to say it because I really don't want to sway the vote in that way. But obviously, some of the things that people have gotten upset with me, even though there's been, I'm showcasing other people's work. I'm not even showcasing my work. I'm showcasing other people's work. Some people have gotten upset because I haven't showcased their work, and some of it I've just simply missed. Like I mentioned, the hashtag has over 10. Oh, I shouldn't say over 10. It has over 9,000 entries. It's heading to 10,000 entries since we started at the beginning of the year, and it's become one of the premier hashtags to showcase your custom work. Sometimes I'll just miss stuff. I've gone back and I've seen, or either this or people are tagging it after the fact. Maybe they put out a custom, they found out about a show and they went back and they hashtagged it This Week in Customs and it started coming up on my feed, or I just missed it. Others, there's a lot of customs that are being put out by people that are either starting out, they're just starting out, and the customs aren't to a level where I want to showcase the custom, right? And looking back at my own work, when I used to be, there's a Facebook group called the World's Greatest Customizers. I would go on there and I would see some of the work that was putting out, and I'm going, man, my work, because they would do voting in their Facebook group. Matter of fact, to be a part of the group, you had to vote every week, and then you needed to. I guess you have to. They've changed the rules so many times, but you had to vote every single week. I never felt comfortable with putting one of my customs up for vote because I'm a realist. I can see what looks good and what doesn't look good, and my work was not up to the level where I felt comfortable to enter it in the contest. And then we got some people, and I'm fine with them hashtagging it because it's getting them exposure, and maybe they'll meet new, they'll make nerd friends, they'll make custom nerd friends that they can bounce ideas back and forth and improve on their work. But some of the customs are just not ready to be showcased when you have some really top level customizers that are putting out work on a regular basis. That's a showcase, right? Part of my response to that was to start that program, Critique My Customs, but not enough people were putting it up using the hashtag that I could, have a show on a regular basis. I could have a show, maybe once a month or every other month or something like that. That's why I started that one, because those newer customizers or the customizers that their abilities weren't up to speed, they can put in their customs, and I could bring on some people that have had some experience that can share how they can improve in their work. And some people, you have to be pretty humble to do that. I certainly wish that when I was new, that there was something like that. Back in, I think my first custom I did was in 2015. I wish there was something like that was available to me where other customizers would critique my work so I could better my work or give me ideas of stuff that I hadn't even thought about. But they just, so not enough people were doing that to do that. But that was my thought and filling that void. I've had some people contact me on the side and ask my opinion and how they can improve it, and if I felt like I could give them some help, I would extend the help. And then I've also had some people contact me asking me why their customs haven't been showcased. That have I seen their customs and stuff like that? That's a very difficult question to answer because I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, right? It's a show that I started because I love customs, right? And obviously I'm going to showcase the customs that I like and that I enjoy for my taste, and that's very limited. And this is all a long-winded way to say the 5 customs that I'm picking on a weekly basis. Those were my favorite for that week, right? And there's customs that maybe like I've had conversations with some of my buddies on the side. They go, "Oh, I can't believe you didn't pick such and such customs." One of those people was George Johnson. He was always telling, "Oh, bro, you should have picked this one and that one." And it wasn't that. I mean, I showcased it on the show, but I didn't pick it as the top 5. And that just goes that I have a certain preference, right? And since I'm the one that's doing the show, putting the work in to put the show out, I'm the one that gets to pick the 5. It doesn't mean that your custom wasn't good. I just preferred whatever 5 that I picked, and that's just from my perspective, right? One man's perspective, and then obviously then the people that are contributing to the show, they could they voted, they made the ultimate decision on which one was their best. Sometimes I was surprised at some of the ones that won over some of the others that weren't picked. But it's a fun show. There was nothing on the line other than maybe your pride. Some of the people that were contacting me on the side that they didn't make it on the show. How come? Why? I hashtag this. I've had a few people tell me I hashtag. I'm adding. I forget the exact words. Many different words have been used, but I've been hashtagging it to death. Those not quotes, but something like that. And then I would go back to their page and I would see one custom that was hashtagged in the last 5 months or whatever. And it wasn't like a regular thing. It was just, it was that type of person that felt entitled. There was an entitlement, like your custom can make it on the show. And homie, don't play that. I wasn't raised that way. And I don't acquiesce to that type of attitude. I try to be friendly about answering. I try to be nice and responding. I didn't want to be a jerk. But some of the customs are just like, hey man, it's not ready. These people had an unrealistic expectation of what the show is, and they had an unrealistic expectation of what the custom was. Whereas I can look at some of my customs and I go, that's rough. I look at some of my earlier work and any nice words that people said about those customs, and you guys saw, because I did put it out at some point, some of my earliest work, and for the critique my customs, I wanted customizers to critique me, that way that people could understand how the critique was going to happen. And I look at some of those customs, and anything nice that was said, it was like I should take that. I would have preferred more criticism, you know what I mean? Because those customs were not good. Like I compare some of the stuff, like painting now to painting then, is a vast difference. And I'm not saying that my work is like super high level, but it's an improvement. I have a realistic expectation of what I put to the table, and some of these folks that were contacting me on the side did not. And you noticed, and it goes with the games, like people. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm not trying to be a jerk to you, but you just have to have a realistic expectations. And then, of course, you see the thumbs down. So they're voicing their opinion, which is fine. But they're not willing to say, "Yeah, I'm thumbing you down because you didn't put my custom in your show." So Fig Life, it's hard not calling you Fig Life Miami. Fig Life Toy Hunts says, "Same here. My vids are getting thrown in the crapper." Yeah, we'll see. It could be the end of the year and people are, busy, shopping or I've lost some interest, but it just appears that the videos aren't, the algorithm aren't catching it, which is fine, whatever. We'll see what happens. So Devin, so did you submit stuff to Critique My Custom? So if you did it after the second episode or the third episode, I can't remember how many I did. It may have been 3 total episodes because the first one was critiquing my work. So 2 episodes of critiquing people that submitted their customs. If you submitted it after that fact, that's when the whole YouTube stuff started coming out and pretty much started killing even me making This Week in Customs. And we'll see what happens. You know, if the FTC would look at my channel and tell me, "Hey, man, you're the fact that you're talking about a custom Captain America, you're good." Even if you're reviewing a, because can you imagine a 5-year-old necessarily understanding what the heck we're talking about here? Even some of the humor that's used, it would go over their heads. But that's not the point. The point is that Captain America is going to be attractive to a child, right? I was attracted as a I wasn't a 5, didn't know about that. Yeah, because I was still in Cuba. But when I was 8 and I was watching Transformers, that was very appealing to me, right? The cartoons were very appealing. Optimus Prime. Now, you know, there's a $400 Optimus Prime, and say I ended up getting it and reviewing it. My channel could possibly be flagged just simply because Optimus Prime is a character and it's a toy that could be appealing to children. I just wish that they would tell, you know, the nerds like that do this type of content, hey, your content's fine. You don't have to worry about it. Obviously, you would think it's the little kiddie stuff, right? The kid doing the reviews of toys, the Ryan's Toy Reviews, and similar channels. That's really what that is. But what I was mentioning earlier, that YouTube is not backing their creators, and you can see it by the choices they've given us. It's either you make content for kids or not for kids. I'm not making content for kids. I make family friendly, what's considered family friendly. It doesn't fit in any of those categories. So YouTube is forcing me to designate, and I have to. It's not a choice. Every creator has to designate either your content's made for kids or not made for kids. It doesn't give me the option that my content truly is. And that's one way that they're not supporting their creators. And hopefully somebody has to say something. I'm laughing at dude, Justin, come on, man. The mustache ride is over. First of all, I wasn't offering any mustache rides, player. See, a 5-year-old wouldn't understand that. A 5-year-old shouldn't understand that. Joshua Kincaid, well, my brother from another mother, I just want to go on record and say thanks for your show. It broadened my scope of this hobby I picked up on in the last few years. Thank you, dude. You know what? Thank you for saying that. And thank you to all the people that have been expressing support and for the channel and for the content that I've provided over, the last 3 years. Some of you don't know, I started doing toy hunts with my family. And I'm thinking, how old were my girls at the time? I think my youngest, maybe my 2 youngest may have been, no, 3. My 2 youngest may have been under 13. So I'm doing toy hunts. And if you saw me do some of those videos, and that's how my channel started becoming popular, because toy hunts were a thing. And those of you that have watched This Week in Customs probably don't get to see the personality. It's hard to do when I'm just reacting to other people's stuff. But people like my interactions with my wife, my kids, and my parents. Some of my interactions that I took my dad toy shopping with me once. I think did I ever take my mom? I can't remember, but for sure my dad a couple times. And people like that. Now I wonder if that content would get flagged just simply because my girls at that time, possibly, I know one for sure was under the age of 13. But I got bored. I got bored doing toy hunts, and it was a lot of money spending and going and buying. I had to control myself. Then I started doing something called Brockonomics, and those were some fun videos. I think I may have done 2 or 3 Brockonomics videos, and then that time I started transitioning. I was doing collector spotlights when I would do interviews. That was really fun, interviewing other collectors, other customizers, ACBA artists. I think I may have done like 17, maybe 20 episodes of Collector Spotlight. Had some good times on there. And then obviously the custom tutorials. and then finally finishing up with, I did reviews too. I did toy reviews, but then the main emphasis this whole year was This Week in Customs. So I do appreciate all of you that have been from the ride from the very beginning, and maybe even just that you just got in on the end. Sorry to be a bummer, but or to disappoint. I'm not trying to disappoint, but it is what it is at this point. And like I feel like I've been repeating it. I just can't take the chance of getting fined. As a matter of fact, if there's nothing said from if there isn't an update from YouTube, FTC, et cetera, regarding all this, the COPPA laws and how they apply to our channels, specifically like toy related channels, nerd channels like this, I'm going to have to take my videos offline, all of them, because I cannot take the chance. Essentially, it's killing my channel. For instance, there was I can't remember the name of this website, but it kind of forecasts what you should have been. I should have been at 10,000 subscribers, and it was pretty accurate for a while. I should have been at 10,000 subscribers last week, but I'm barely at 9. I'm not even at 9,000 yet. And it's just because my content stopped getting, I think that's what it is, just stopped getting pushed out. And ever since they got fined $140 million, that became, public. And, but man, yeah. So essentially it's going to kill the channel. If I have to change my channel to Made for Kids, and I guess that's what I would ultimately have to do, change it to Made for Kids instead of, that would be the easiest thing to do, because it would kind of like be a batch update. If I have to make it instead of for kids, then the channel's essentially dead. They don't push your content out. It won't be shown on other people's videos. I won't have a comment section. I won't be able to make a community tabs done and over with, which is essentially what this has become, right? It's very subscriber based. Excuse me, I just had some coffee. Subscriber based interactions, right? This Week in Customs is not made without you. First, the customizers that are making the customs, and the people that are voting, interacting, talking about their content. I know some of the people that have gained followers on their Instagram, and I think it's been great because it's kind of like the community helping each other out. All of the community aspects of what this channel has been about from the very beginning, which is why I ended up renaming the show of Life with Brock, all the stuff that I do, I'm sharing with you. It'll be gone. So essentially it kills the channel. It's like, why even make more content? So the thought is maybe if YouTube is completely dead and I still have a drive, or I start getting a desire to do it, maybe I'll put it out on Facebook. The problem with Facebook is that it just does not have the same viewership. Yeah, you don't get videos fed to your Facebook accounts. I don't think, my understanding, it's not like that. Whereas here, if you hit the bell, you get at least notified. And then when I was releasing videos regularly on Friday, you could expect it. That platform is not YouTube, and people are going to Vimeo and other sources. It's just not YouTube. YouTube just has all the people, and this is, I've tried to include as many people as I can on the show, and the more people that watch, the more their customs get. Especially the guys that do, they charge commissions for customs. It's to their benefit to have more and more people watch the show and have their work exposed, even if they're not being featured on a weekly basis. Once, we've had a couple of the This Week in Customs that have gone over 20,000 views, which has been, like, hey, that's fantastic. There was a time there that was regularly being watched by 8 to 10,000 views an episode. And then for the last stretch, except some that have done better than others, an average of 5,000 views. So, but now it's not getting that type of views, and I really think it's just because the algorithm and maybe the time of the year. Dumb ugly, that's funny. But you get where I'm coming from when I'm saying that. So Facebook, who knows, maybe that may be an option. But I've tested it out already, and the Facebook just does not get not even close to the same amount of views. And I got to be honest with you guys, even though it seems like a pretty simple format, the format of the show is very simple. I go to Instagram, I preloaded it. That it can take me anywhere between 3 to 5 hours to get it all completed. So 3 to 5 hours, and it gets 300 views. I'll tell you right now, it's not worth it for me. 300 views, after you're averaging 5, 7, 8, 10,000 views an episode. I can't really justify the time if that's what it'll be. Just being honest with you. Do it for the culture. Okay, Nick, here we go. By the way, Nick has a show on the ROC. That's the Realm of Collectors. He had me on as a guest several months ago now, and they're nerds like us that like to talk all sorts of different properties, games, movies, pretty much pop culture stuff. I love the ROC, man. The ROC, I first came to know them because the first thing I ever collected was Transformers. Transformers is my love. But I almost have a full Transformer collection. And then I started, once I got into customizing, then Marvel Legends and 1/12 scale figures like that became my priority over Transformer. But go check them out. Let me see what he says. Mark your videos as not safe for kids. You also have to set your channel as not safe for kids. So I'm not sure if you heard me say that. Maybe you. Yeah, right. So if I don't believe my channel is made for kids, but that self-designation is only for YouTube. The FTC can come in, and regardless of what I've set my channel to, they will look at it and say, wait a second. And I'm going to use Captain America because he's my favorite superhero. He just talked about a custom Captain America. Captain America is a character that appeals to kids. Of course he does, just like Spider-Man. The video that has had the most views on my channel is a custom 6-armed Spider-Man that I did a couple of years ago. They're going to look at that, and then boom, they can find me. That's the problem. I don't know. If the FTC maybe comes out, or YouTube comes out with the FTC, and they say something like, hey, you're going to have a warning. We're going to give you a warning. Your video is going to get flagged by the FTC. You can appeal it to them, discuss it with them. They'll have interactions with you. I just don't think the FTC has the manpower to do that. Kind of like the LAPD does not have the manpower to police Los Angeles, even though they have 8,000, 9,000 officers, but they're policing in a humongous area. The FTC, regardless of how many employees they have, they're not going to have enough to police 26 million channels. And they start flagging. I don't know what they're going to use. I don't know what they're going to use, but all of a sudden my video gets flagged, and then I have an appeal or whatever. Or maybe I just get a notice that I violated some sort of law with a bill, like a ticket. Now I'm paying $230 fine, $500 fine. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. They need to give us way more direction than that. Otherwise, even marking it as not for kids isn't safe, and it's not wise. Think about this. Let me use Shartimus Prime again. He's the biggest guy in our spot. He's got a gajillion videos that he makes, right? Because every video he releases, he makes money. He gets 30,000 views plus on his videos. So he's releasing them. I would be releasing them daily too. They go through, and let's say they find him $50 a video. And let's say all his videos get flagged. He is jacked. He's jacked. So you can't you can't trust it. I've heard some people, including Sharnama, say, "Oh, I'm just going to start I'm just going to start using some colorful language." That's fine for some of those channels. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you use colorful language. The wording, I can't get over the wording. It's too broad. Characters and toys that appeal to children. I don't care what you're saying. So there's, some of them are saying curse words, or they're putting this channel is not for kids at the very beginning. If they were to say, if you put a warning in the front of every one of your videos, you are good, boom, I stay on YouTube, because I'll add a warning to every video. I just don't think is this live or premiere? You tell me. It's live. Who cares about the views? I do. I've been doing this. I've been creating content for 3 years. When you've worked on something to build it up to, and again, it's a small YouTube channel. It's not a big YouTube channel. Have almost 9,000 subscribers. I want more than 300 views. That's what it does matter. It matters. It matters. It's like you're somebody who creates a custom that puts it out on Instagram. What do you think they prefer to get? 10 views or 1,000 views? You want to get as many views on that work that you're putting out and you're sharing. You want that to get out. Do I want 1,000 views or 1,000,000 views? I'm going to pick 1,000,000 views. Also, there, ad revenue. It took a while before I started being able to make some ad revenue. First, I needed, what was it? 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours viewed. That was the standard to be able to monetize. And then to collect the check, you have to make $100 in ad revenue. So it took months to get there. So once you start building stuff like that up, you don't want to go backwards. It just doesn't. It's not worth it. It's not worth spending the time creating the content that you've built on your platform. That I've built on my platform. And again, this is a hobby. But at times it's almost like, like a game too. You want to see your videos do better and better, get more and more subscribers. The thing with This Week in Customs, the more views it gets, not only does it benefit me, but it benefits the people that made it on that show. So that may not be an answer that you like, but that's at least my mentality. And if a creator is going to tell you it's not about the views, I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe that person. I think I talked about this one already. Correct. So what Nick mentioned, I mentioned the algorithms. If you do a market for kid friendly, your channel's dead. Your channel's effectively dead right there. There would be the only way that you would even get any more subscribers or views on a video if you market kid friendly would be that the current people that watch your videos will share the videos, and then but then just think about it. If the same person, let's say there's one person that thinks, man, This Week in Customs is the best show on the internet. I love that. I have to watch it every time that it's released, and I'm going to share it every time. And let's say that person shares it every single time. Now follow me here. They have a limited community that they're in, social community. So they share it in the same Facebook group. It's going to be seen by the same people. And then after a while, it kind of loses that effect. It loses it because the people that would go, it's limited. Whereas if YouTube is pushing your content out, then it's being seen by people other than your subscribers. And when I look at my analytics, sometimes it's like 35% subscribers, and then the other percentage is by non-subscribers. And that means that my video was sent out in the algorithm and somebody decided to click on it. And that's how the channel grows, and it stays. It's kind of like another log on the fire. If it's marked kid friendly, the stoking of the flames is gone. Your channel, now when T-Man plays a video, my video won't be showcased on theirs. The YouTube algorithm won't push it out. Some of the videos, like the most watched video that I have is like 130,000 views. And the only reason that happened was because the YouTube algorithm was pushing it out in suggested videos and putting it in, on their page where people would click on it, right? That's how the fire is stoked for YouTube videos. If that doesn't happen, it's done. Here's another point that Nick makes. There's a couple people in here that have supported. I know Markai Lab Creations has supported me through super chats. He's hey, thanks for the content. Out of the goodness of his heart, boom, he dropped me some cash. He doesn't have to do it. I wouldn't ask you to do it. Some people do ask, and I think that's fine. But I personally don't ask. But when people do it, I'm like, hey man, thank you. That money towards my next action figure. I'm looking over here because I recently bought the Marvel Select Ultron. Dude, nice figure. Nice figure. All right, I'm way down here. Eric Harker. Oh, sure. By the way, Eric Harker makes some really, really awesome soft goods. I'm trying to think of the last one. And I don't know if you sold many of this. I don't know why it wouldn't have caught on, because I thought that like the color was like perfect. The jacket for Jubilee, maybe because she isn't such a major character, but he made me a jacket for Jubilee that it was like this fluorescent yellow, but it's posable. And and Jubilee's a small character. Really, really fun. But I'm trying to think, was that the last one that you made me? I know we had talked about Thor, but I didn't get Thor, but there was something else. Eric actually made me some clothes for an action figure custom that I've been working on for years, and I don't know why I just haven't finished it. I just wanted to gain enough skills to complete what I wanted, because I'm actually in an X-Men comic book. Back in the 90s, I met one of the authors for an X-Men comic book, and he put me in the comic. So I have my own character. It's only appeared once in the comics. He's still alive. So he's in the 616 universe, I believe, and he can come back. I don't think he'll ever bring him back, but Eric made me some clothes, and I just have to get, like, I have to want to work on it, and I haven't had a desire to work on it, but he made me pants and a jacket for him that were pretty good. But I can't remember the last thing. With Doc Ock, I know I'd have a Doc Ock from you, a Gambit coat from you. I think the one that the people have seen the most is the Thing coat. That was an awesome piece, and the hat. But anyways, Eric Harker, you should go check him out. I'm not sure if you're taking any commissions right now, but I know you got busy for a while. You may want to put that in the chat before these folks start hitting you up. Chris Jordan says, I think of Cartoon Network and Adult Swim. They found a way to keep it kid-friendly yet appeal to adult audience. So why can't YouTube do the same, have an adult YouTube? Now, mind you, the reason this has become a problem is because YouTube was collecting data from kids under the age of 13. You can't have a YouTube account without stating explicitly that you're 13 and over. But of course, with data collecting and things of that nature, YouTube was able to figure out how to mine that data, and then they were pretty much presenting that to larger ad placing companies as a benefit to them. That's how the FTC found out. And that's how they got fined $140 million, because YouTube was the one that screwed up. So as a response, then all this stuff has now come to the surface. If they wouldn't have been collecting that data, it wouldn't be an issue. So it was YouTube's fault, not the creator's fault. But now the FTC and that guy that appeared, he was so smug. He came off like such a smug person. You guys know what I'm talking about? The guy that looks like a poor man's version of who was that fat comic that he's passed away? Big Boy, the Big Boy comic. Fat man in a little shirt. What's that comic's name? I can't think of it. I'm waiting for you guys to help me out in the comments. But he looks like that actor. That he's dead now. But Tommy Boy actor. I can't think of his name. Chris Farley. I beat you guys to it. He looks like a poor man's version of Chris Farley. And he came out so and then he's like, we're gonna come after the creators. That sucks. And like I've said again, zero of this content that I've ever created on my channel have I ever targeted kids. Because what's my benefit? I'm not making any money. I'm not making any money targeting it at kids. I'm targeting it at people like me. And obviously my main viewership, according to my analytics, are millennials to my generation and a little bit older. There's none, the 13 to 17 range even. I don't even have that. And if it shows up, it may be my kids. But so it's all YouTube. This is a problem that was created by YouTube, and the response now is to self-identify in those two categories, which my channel does not fit. My channel is family friendly. Unless I have a mental breakdown on camera and I have a slip of the tongue, you're not going to hear me you're not going to hear me use foul language or even talk about, something that would be inappropriate. I mean, the worst I've done is, that's what she said, right? So it's PG for sure. No, not David Spade, Chris Farley. Yeah, you guys got it. There isn't a huge market for 12-inch Marvel Legends as far as soft goods, but I mean, that's something that Eric could do easily. If he's still on here, he should talk. So it looks like he's taking orders in January. I mean, if he can make it for the smaller the figure is the harder it is to make clothing for. I made a robe for Yoda, by the way. That's on my channel. And there's a tutorial, a posable robe for Yoda, and that was hard. That was so difficult. Let me see. I'm just looking through what you guys are saying so I can bring it on screen. Yeah, there you go. So I talked about that, about the targeted ads. Yeah, Eric says he only sold 3 Jubilee coats, which is a shame. Like I said, it makes it to me it improved that Marvel Legend so much because it made her look more kinetic. That's why I like the posable coats, and that was a really good coat. The real ones don't gaff about the road bumps. They work through it. I watch every single episode from the start. You started something. If you go back on if you back out now, you're soft. Dumb Ugly. I would just say, where's your YouTube channel? And I'm not trying to be a jerk about this, but since you're calling me soft, where's your YouTube channel? I think if you had a YouTube channel, you may be considering a little bit differently, because then it's, you're the one that's taking the chance of getting fined. I appreciate you watching the videos, but just understand that I'm a family man and my family comes first. And if I were to get hit with a fine, that's like real life stuff. It goes beyond nerd customs, toy. It goes now it's real life, because the stuff that we do, it's a hobby. It takes us away. Part of the reasons I like doing customs is because it takes my mind off the real world. Now the real world is I'm I'm a man that's taking care of my family. And if I make a bad decision and keeping videos online for people's entertainment and taking the chance of being fined and having it negatively affect my family is not the man decision to make. So I'm a big boy. I've lived life for a little bit. You see, if you look over here, you can see some gray hair, and I have to make up grown up decisions, even though we're in a world that matter of fact, I just got some figures. I just ended up buying myself an early Christmas gift, a Mazinger Z. I used to watch Tranzor Z when I was a kid, like back in the early to mid 80s. It takes me back to my childhood. It takes me back when, you see the Christmas tree right there, when I would wake up on Christmas morning when I was a kid and there was, some presents underneath the tree. There were video games, there were toys. It takes me back to a good place. And I love it. I wouldn't be doing it if I wouldn't love it. But my family comes first. And I have to protect that. And that's just the real life. It's not being soft. Let me see what else we got over here. It looks like we have an Eric Harker fan right here. Family's getting home. Hey, what's up?
Hi.
Let me see what else we got. Oh, we got some more chats down here. Oh, there we go. This is where I was gonna. Chris Farley, David Spade. Now I'm getting back. Now I've caught up. So I think I'm gonna end this stream. I've gone an hour. This is gonna be now people won't watch it because it's too long. Hopefully they'll go and watch it at the front. Is my shoulder feeling better? So this is my good one. So this is what a natural shoulder should look, very free. And that's about as much as I can raise my arm. If I try to scratch my back, that's about as far as it will go. This one, see, no problem. This one just doesn't want to go. It doesn't want to go. The guy that did the shoulder surgery wants to go back in. I'm like, I don't want it to happen. Michael Diabella saying he is saying to pass the torch, but doesn't want to put in the legwork and dedication to get it going. I'm not sure what that comment was referring to. Maybe something that was said that I missed in the chat. But you don't curse in your videos, so you shouldn't have to worry about you getting fined. I think, Nightwalker, you're missing the point. Only so many ways I can say it, player. Here you go. Michael says there are two questions kind of further up if you're chatting. So, I missed the questions. Thank you for pointing that out. Let me see. Yeah, and that would go way over kids' heads, right? This guy always my Chris Farley comments. Okay, I'm not seeing the questions, or maybe I already answered them. Oh, here we go. I missed this that Nick said, and you guys should really go check him out. I'll be making an announcement on my show tonight on the Realm of Collectors. We go live around 9. Hope you don't mind a small. No, you should drop a link. Actually, why don't you drop a link? That way people can go straight there. All right, let me see. Hi, honey.
Hi.
I decided to redo the show.
Okay.
See, so okay, so supportive. Love it. It's good. It's good to be me. Use the Kingpin fin as a base for Farley and Hit Monkey for that would that actually would be pretty darn funny. The Kingpin is actually the old Kingpin. The Toy Biz Kingpin would be good for a Chris Farley body. Let me see. Better safe than. Yep, that's where I'm at. What's up, NASCAR man? And Christian, now, man, I appreciate you streaming and the dialogue. Just like Jeff said so famously, nature finds a way. Yeah, and who knows what the future? The future isn't guaranteed. YouTube future isn't guaranteed. This may, who knows? Maybe this is the straw that or the straw that breaks YouTube. That would be very difficult. But can you imagine if this has some far-reaching ramifications and then YouTube is no more? It can happen. And really the creators that aren't being affected, because there's definitely a select group that's being affected, right? Of creators, but users are being affected. The people, most of the stuff that I watch is nerd stuff or mixed martial arts stuff. That's all I watch on YouTube. So then if all the nerd stuff goes, and then I just MMA, I can catch some MMA stuff on Facebook because I follow a couple pages there. They've lost me as a user and as a content creator. Who knows what this does to YouTube? You never know. Southtown Paint Apps, what's up? Where's the real Brock? Are you talking about the? Yeah, you're probably talking about the mustache. Now, as far as the hashtag goes, a good point. I hope that continues. Like I mentioned before, I think it's become one of the premier hashtags on Instagram to get your customs seen. So even though there may not be a show per se, I think as far as the hashtag goes, it's nearing 10,000. That means people have been very active this year on it, and it's a great place to get especially your 1/12 custom figures. Obviously, there's 118 scale customs and then some larger scale customs that are put on there, but there's no reason why that's going to stop. I think that hashtag will continue. Maybe people will go, oh, why am I hashtagging it? I don't have a chance to make it on a show. Well, shoot, you have a complete audience on YouTube that is watching that hashtag. So I think that should continue. Honey, I just got a hashtag, bring the stash back. No. Why not? Hashtag wife vetoes. I'm not sure if you caught that, but she said hashtag wife vetoes.
I'm the one kissing that thing.
Thanks for referring to me as a thing. She just said, I'm the one that's kissing that thing. And she's right, though, because she's the only one that gets the pleasure of these lips. But anyways, right. And that's a problem. Everything should be PG-13 on YouTube because that's the standard that they set. They said that you cannot have an account unless you're 13 years old. The problem is with COPA and the FTC is that they're trying to parent, and I'm not into big government. I'm fairly conservative. It's up to the parents to parent the kids. I don't see it as a negative thing. I don't see COPA as a negative thing. Obviously, there's predators out there that will take advantage of. If you give them a little bit, they'll take advantage of it. So sure, I'm good with protecting for that, but it's my role to protect my kids from what they watch, what's age appropriate. If you're a parent, you're definitely going to be limiting what they're exposed to, and then you're watching them as they mature and they grow. Then you give a little bit more rope. You give that was a bad analogy, but you give them more responsibility. When my eldest daughter, who's in her late teens or almost late teens, when she was 9, certainly wouldn't let her watch some of the stuff that she watches now. It's my responsibility, my wife's responsibility as a parent. But the government's coming in and making all these things, and then obviously YouTube, Google took advantage of they were the ones that were collecting the data off of people they knew they shouldn't have accounts. So what are you going to do? And so we get to deal with the ramifications. People like me that is doing this as a hobby, and then I'm going to get fined. Come on, player. Yeah. Happy wife, happy life means no stash. Chico, you're right. Big what is up, dude? Thank you for all the cool customs that you were able to do on your show, and you guys were able to get your customs on the show. You guys are very talented. Keep it on. Yeah, absolutely. We definitely had, I mean, everybody that was featured on the show, even some of the newer customizers, like Kilo Echo Arts, to me, if I was going to give an award to the most improved artist from the stuff that I've seen, I would give it to him. If you go back to see some of his early, and he did a lot of like symbiote stuff. He's stuck. He likes it. He likes doing that that type of character. If you look, go on his Instagram, go to Kilo Echo Arts Instagram page, and go see some of his early customs and compare it to this last one, this Absolute Carnage that he did, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And that was in less than a year he was improving on. So that guy, I'm telling you right now, that guy continues to do customs. He's going to be a very talented. He's going to be one of the people that you're going to be looking at and saying, "Oh man, check out this." He was using Aves epoxy or Milliput, some of the cementy stuff to do the symbiote stuff. Where when you see some of the guys that are more seasoned, they'll use the green stuff or they'll use Procreate. And that putty has a different type of consistency and look to it that is better to use for that. Watch, I know he was getting some. A lot of it is the reason some of these customizers, the top level guys and gals, using that as a general term, they've been doing it for so long. They've learned the tricks of the trade, meaning they know what works better. In certain situations, they have the right tool to get stuff accomplished. And that's part of learning. So for me, that guy has improved a lot from the stuff that he's released. Dumb Ugly, you're scary. Give the show to Tech Hunter or whatever dude's name is that does This Week in Dios. Yeah, This Week in Dios is done by Tech Chucker. And I don't know what you mean by give him the show. He already has his own show. Uh-oh, guys. Oh my gosh. Here you go. Michael has 2 questions. Would you be willing to do a collaboration with another customizer on one finger and maybe do a giveaway for a charity raffle? If so, any ideas? Weapon X Customs tried to do that. He tried to do it, and we even mentioned it a couple times on the show. And there you go. I have done collaborations in the sense of like Eric Harker. He's provided soft goods for some of the customs that I did. If you go back and you look at the Thing custom I did, that was a collaboration. You're talking for a charity. I don't think that I would do a custom for a charity just simply because I don't like that. I don't sell my customs. So I just don't see my customs demanding that high of a price. If I can make a custom and it would sell for $1,000, would I do it for a charity? Sure. I would definitely do that if it was a charity that I agreed that I would have to agree with, because my wife and I give to charities that we believe in. So as far as, if I can be guaranteed a certain amount of money that would go to a charity, I would be willing to do that, but it's a lot harder than you think. Well, if anything, give thanks for, thank you for giving us a show while it lasted. Thank you very much. You got it. I was happy to do it. Long live This Week in Custom. Rip to the people that don't use Instagram. There are Facebook groups that do customs. I can, if that's what you're interested, I can show you guys some Facebook groups that do custom action figures. Let me bring it up and I'll share it. Let me see. Make sure I'm picking the right one. All right, let me see. So if you don't use Instagram, Instagram's very easy to use. Let me see. Let me see if I can spread this out a little bit more. All right. As far as groups that do custom action figures, you know, on here, I have a page called Life with Brock on Facebook. So my Instagram stuff gets automatically put on there. So if you're interested in seeing my custom stuff, but there's the fodder box. People show their customs off in the fodder box. So that's a group that you may be interested in joining. Let me go back and show you some other custom groups that I'm in. I feel like I'm missing one right here. DC comic figures, Marvel Legends. No. Fodder box is kind of, here we go. I think this, no, that's not it. That's not it. I thought I was involved in another custom group. It's been a while. I don't really go to Facebook for customs because it's just so much harder to find than Instagram. I'm wondering if I'm missing it here. There's a group that is run by Chris Serta. I thought I was in it. Or maybe I'm just not seeing it here right now. Trading posts. No. I feel like I'm missing a group or I got kicked out. Did I get kicked out? No, I don't think I would have done anything to get myself kicked out. But there's a group that's run by Chris Serta. If you guys know what it is, join it. Chris Serta is one of the premier customizers in the game. Let's hope this Copa things goes over. Thank you, sir. Dr. Pest. Now you're talking. And at one point, I used to be a pretty good salsa dancer. Tom Ugly is saying, Brock's, is your name Coy by any chance? Are you coy? Don't be coy with me. The fodder box. Rip to the people that don't use social media. All right. I think we're going to end this stream. Oh, there we go. Action figure customize. Dude, I'm in that group. Well, anyways, go check out Action Figure Customizing Community on Facebook. I don't know where the heck it was. I'm pretty sure I'm in that group. All right, with that, I'm going to end it. Live stream went way longer than I wanted to. Gotta go. Good luck, Brock. I'm really rooting for you, man. I appreciate it, bro. Thanks for hanging out. And with that, all good things must come to an end. Maybe. Brock, out.